A system suddenly bound itself to me, demanding that I romance the male lead and the second male lead. I asked the system a practical question. I just need to win them over. The method is my choice, right? The system confirmed. So I bought a fake system from the shop and secretly attached one copy to each of them. A moment later, both men received the same ominous alert on their personal interfaces. Host has successfully activated the Romance the Heroine program. Reach 100 affection with the heroine to complete the mission. If affection reaches -100, the program automatically fails. Program failure will result in immediate elimination. Reminder, affection dropping below 0 may trigger random punishments. When that so-called romance system bound itself to me, my life was already falling apart. I had just yelled myself hoarse arguing with my biological parents, walked out, and ended up wandering the streets with nowhere to go. While I was wondering where I would sleep that night, a cold robotic voice echoed in my mind. Congratulations, host. You have been linked to the romance system. A transparent screen appeared in front of me and began displaying 2 profiles. That was when I discovered I was actually living inside a novel, one of those stories where the male protagonist realizes his feelings too late. I was the heroine, the real daughter who had been switched at birth and spent 20 years growing up away from the wealthy family that should have raised me. And because the original plot had gone off track, the system showed up to force me onto the designated path by making me pursue the male lead and his nephew. The male lead, Julian Thorne, and the second male lead, River Thorne, were uncle and nephew. Both of them were practically glued to my fake sister, the girl who had lived my life all those years. On the day I returned to my birth family, they had marched in together like bodyguards, terrified that backward little me might bully their precious Chloe. Sprawled across a soft hotel bed that I definitely could not afford, I interrogated the system about every rule and loophole. When I asked what happened if I failed, the system paused, then dropped a single word, termination. The pleasant kind of termination, meaning death. But if I succeeded, I was allowed to keep one item from the system shop as a permanent cheat. The system also warned me that everything had to be completed before the original story wrapped up. In the novel, the characters spent 5 long years fighting, reconciling, and tearing each other apart before reaching their happy ending. That meant I had 5 years to finish the mission or die. I thought about it. Then I asked the system, so the approach does not matter as long as I get the job done? It gave a short hum that sounded like a yes. I opened the shop and browsed for anything useful. System, I said, I need a loan. My bank balance was empty, but after I said that, a neat line of zeros magically appeared in the account attached to my system interface. Perfect. I purchased a fake system. It did not come with many features, just remote surveillance and the ability to send messages. I immediately linked one copy to each man. Then, I typed the welcome message. Host has activated the Romance the Heroine program. Affection at 100 means mission complete. Affection at -100 means failure and immediate elimination. If affection drops below 0, random punishments may start. Through the surveillance function, I watched Julian Thorne freeze mid-movement. He had apparently just come home and was changing clothes. His shirt hung open halfway, showing defined abs usually hidden under his perfectly tailored suits. I cracked open a soda, got comfortable, and studied the scene. Julian stared at the floating message like he could not decide whether he was sleep-deprived or losing his mind. I typed another line. Host objective, increase the heroine Sarah Vance's affection. Current value, 0. 0 was fair. We had only met once. River Thorne, however, was not starting from 0. I checked his panel next. His affection for me was a steady -50. Classic River, if you were not on his side, you were automatically on his enemy list. When I switched to his camera, he was fresh out of the shower, towel around his waist, and hair dripping. He looked up at the message with open disbelief. What kind of garbage is this? He muttered when the rules repeated themselves. Then he said my name with clear irritation. He immediately tried to reject the entire program. Romance? Forget it. Pick someone else. I selected a punishment from the shop. Electric shock. System detects host hostility. Affection critically low. Random punishment starting. Before he could argue, I pressed the button. He jerked violently and hit the floor with a scream. When the shock ended, he was still cursing. He was furious, but not afraid. So, I pressed it again. And again. And again. River was stubborn enough to endure 10, maybe 12 rounds before he broke. Panting and trembling, he finally gasped, "Fine. I accept, just stop." I tapped the button one last time for a weaker jolt. He let out a tiny sound, almost a whine, and collapsed like a puppet whose strings had been cut. I saved the audio file, mostly for entertainment. My real system stayed quiet for a long moment before asking, "What exactly are you trying to romance here?" Honestly, it probably looked like I was doing the opposite. I reassured it. Then I sent the mission message. Host must raise the Harrow and Sarah Vance's affection above 0 within 2 weeks. Failure will trigger random punishments. River stared at the message while lying half dead on the floor. He was terrified to say no. The electric shocks were still buzzing through his body. He struggled to even remember who Sarah Vance was. Then it clicked. I was Chloe's long-lost sister, the girl from the countryside. At that moment, my system informed me River's affection had somehow dropped even lower. I had no intention of letting Julian have an easier time. Unlike River, Julian did not swear or argue. His first reaction was to order someone to run a background check on me. When I switched back to his feed, he was already at his desk, fully dressed and typing commands into his computer. If he was going to behave, I would simply introduce some chaos on my end. They needed to understand incentives. Punishment plus reward equals obedience. So I triggered the affection drop. Harrow and affection -10. Affection below 0 detected. Starting random punishment. The punishment struck before he even processed the warning. I had chosen a different effect for him. Unrelieved desire. Honestly, I just wanted to see what a man like Julian would do with it. Julian Thorne, the clean, disciplined, unreachable ice sculpture of the Thorne family. But the first time I met him, I noticed something different. His eyes looked gentle even when his face looked cold. He always wore glasses in public, probably to hide that small contradiction. Watching someone like that lose control was fascinating. The effect hit him hard. He froze first, then a wave of heat rolled through him. His cheeks flushed, sweat gathered at his neckline, and his breathing turned uneven. Without the glasses on, his eyes looked damp and unfocused. Soon he was slumped over the desk, trying to muffle the sounds slipping out of his throat. He stripped off his damp shirt and tried to endure it. He held out much longer than I expected, refusing to curse or scream. But eventually even he started to groan in pain. When he finally whispered, "Stop, please," there was real desperation in his voice. I resisted the temptation to tease him and maintain the neutral tone of the system. Host must raise the Harrow and Sarah Vance's affection above 0 within 2 weeks or punishment will continue. He agreed at once. I ended the effect. He collapsed on the bed almost immediately. His entire body shivered like it still remembered the torment. For a man used to being in control, that was probably the most humiliating moment of his life. Julian must have done his homework, or maybe he asked around, because when I stepped out of the hotel, he was already there. "Sarah," he called. He tensed slightly, probably still reeling from yesterday's chaos. I responded casually, "Uncle Julian." The title made him stiffen again. I suspected he had intended to pursue me romantically, but my reminder of the age gap threw him off. Young and proud, he had to quickly recover. "Just call me Julian," he said with a smile. "Uncle makes me feel ancient." He went on to explain why he was there. "I heard you ran away from home with nothing. I wanted to check on you." I played along. "Worried about me? We're not that close." I slid into the passenger seat. "Drop me at school. We can talk on the way." My system seemed intrigued. Normally, the host has to chase their target and carefully plan each interaction. I, however, let them deliver themselves straight into my hands. I cut him off before he could make excuses. "If you say Chloe sent you, I won't believe it. She was self-centered and wouldn't have sent anyone. If anything, a fight would have erupted if my brother wasn't there." Julian's usual charm faltered. He hesitated, then said, "I wanted to find you myself. I was worried." I went straight to the point. "You like me?" He choked, clearly unprepared for such bluntness from a junior. He closed his eyes, committed, and admitted, "Yes." "Love at first sight?" "Yes." "So you stayed silent for months because you couldn't believe it? Did it feel wrong?" He went speechless, and my mechanical system chimed immediately. Harrow and affection -20. Current affection -30. Detected dissatisfaction with host silence. Respond to every sentence. Julian suppressed a groan. "Yes, Harrow and affection plus 0.01. Current affection -29.99. I continued teasing him, keeping him off balance. "Do you regret siding with Chloe that day?" "I regret it immensely." "Good. Keep regretting." He froze, confused. The system issued a warning. Delayed response would trigger punishment. I prodded him further. "Are you trying to pursue me?" Yes. Then talk to me. Why so cold? Do I owe you money? Silence. Another warning pinged. He inhaled sharply. The car ride stretched like a test of endurance. He regretted revealing his feelings and now had no way to fight back. Finally, forced to speak, he asked, "How is school going?" I gave him a wide, fake smile after a pause. My system reported. Male lead's heart rate increased. Seduction is working. I quipped, or maybe it's rage-induced palpitations. He doubted himself. I added disdain for good measure. Don't force conversation. There's a generation gap. Before leaving, I tapped on his window. If you're chasing me, bring something tangible. Empty words don't impress me. Heroin affection +1. Current affection, -48.99. Heroin rated ride 5 stars. Hope for timely follow-up. After class, I headed to the library. My system pinged. Second male lead is searching for you. River was leaving my previous classroom. I typed into the fake system. Track heroin via GPS. River nearly shouted. Yes. Yes. The shock from yesterday still haunted him. Survival meant he needed to find me. The GPS map cost $1 million. He hesitated, then spent it without complaint. Coins clinked into my account, profit after the debt. Soon he appeared. Sarah Vance. He spat the name, pure hatred dripping. Heroin affection -10. Current affection, -60. Warning, affection critical. Mission failure imminent. He froze, then pitched his voice high. Sarah. Heroin affection -5. Current affection, -65. Internally, he swore at the system, plotting revenge. He tried to act calm but had no idea how to navigate the minefield I'd set. I pressed him further. Did you fight with Chloe? Here to scold me for her? I asked. Heroin affection -10. Current affection, -75. He stumbled, denying it. No, I'm here to mediate. Heroin affection -5. Current affection, -80. He was spiraling. Bringing up Chloe was a landmine, and he stepped right on it. Heroin affection -10. Current affection, -90. Then I triggered a small shock. He yelped but didn't scream, trying to suppress the sensations. Tingling, itching, faint pleasure. It was subtle but torturous, enough to make him self-conscious in the library. I watched him squirm, suppressing moans. Then I approached and tapped his shoulder. Another surge of electricity followed. He gasped and flushed, looking disoriented. River, are you okay? I asked. Don't touch me, he muttered, though it was unclear if he was still angry or oddly affected. Finally, he adjusted his demeanor. Sarah, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I smiled. You like me too? He hesitated, then nodded, admitting it in his own way. Love at first sight? Another nod. I feigned confusion. Oh, Julian confessed today too. Same story. River blushed, caught between anger and embarrassment. He asked how to redeem himself. I told him to get Chloe to apologize, a near impossible task. After he left, the system questioned my strategy. I replied, fragile alliances in love work best as illusions. In reality, they compete. The next day, River started shadowing me. He followed me to the library, saved seats, tried to earn small affection points. Heroin affection +1. Current affection, -98. But if he annoyed me, points were deducted. Heroin affection -1. Current affection, -99. He hovered at -99, frustrated, bored. His glances at me triggered notifications. I scolded him silently. Stop staring. Control your heartbeat. He buried his head in his arms, trying to calm down, but the pounding in his chest was loud to him. You were looking at me too, he admitted. Male lead River affection +10. Current affection, 30. Leaving the library, he carried my bag, desperate to follow instructions. I reminded him sharply. Heroin affection -0.5. Current affection, -99.5. 1 point left before the brink. Julian occasionally chauffeured me and invited me into his company. It was my first exposure to a real corporation. No welcome banquet, just a bland office with a bathroom. He asked, thoughts on the tour? I had followed the assistant through the office, observing everything like a commander inspecting troops. I didn't understand half of it, but studied anyway. A lot of corporate drones, I said. He swallowed, trying not to react. He wanted to impress, and I wasn't making it easy. Your work history is impressive, though chaotic, he said. He intended to mentor me, guiding me through corporate life. I ignored the lesson briefly, examining him. Half-lidded eyes, meticulous fingers. He felt exposed under my gaze. I claimed confidence. I'm interested in everything, and I learn fast. Teach me to run a company. I'm going after my brother's inheritance. He took me under his wing, filling gaps left by my family, introducing me to the unseen circles of society. Each new lesson earned points. Eventually, small touches, like buttoning my shirt or smoothing fabric, became natural. I tested him, offered playful rewards, and he adapted, unsure how to react. Male lead Julian affection plus 30. Current affection, 68. Heroine affection plus 60. Current affection, 50. I walked ahead, waiting for him to follow. River approached Chloe before the deadline, but she didn't apologize. Instead, her texts were sharp. Did you seduce him? Did you drug him? Where do you live? I'm coming over. He tried anyway. I rewarded him with points. Heroine affection plus 10. Current affection, minus 89.5. I opened his monitor. He was screaming. The points weren't enough. Punishment was imminent. An idea hit me. I switched from electric shock to unrelieved desire. River braced for pain but felt heat instead. Intense, overwhelming, needy. Within moments, he was flushed, panting, writhing on his bed. Attempts to relieve himself failed. I activated the mic, River. He blinked, confused. Hallucination? System? My voice. The cold, robotic chant of the male virtue sutra filled the room. Sarah is heaven. Sarah is earth. Listen to Sarah. Sarah is first. No being alone with other women. Chastity is more important than life. River's mind unraveled. The heat persisted. He imagined me watching him, naked and shivering in desire. Please, he whispered, unsure if he was begging me or the system. Who are you begging? I asked. Sarah, begging Sarah, he admitted, delirious. Granted. The punishment ended. The heat lingered. He gasped, face buried in his jacket. Male lead River affection plus 30. Current affection, 66. Next encounter, River was cautious but eager. He saved me a library seat. Do you like my uncle? He asked. He knew Julian avoided punishment and should have been relieved, but he wasn't. I teased, he's fine. I like him. River panicked. Don't. He's 6 years older. 2 generations apart. I laughed. Old man leftovers. Market rejects. Just facts, he muttered. Later, he tried Julian's mentorship strategies for courting me, but failed. Julian had monopolized my attention for weeks. River couldn't compete. He stared at me, frustration bubbling. Sarah, go skiing this weekend. You need a break, he suggested. I agreed, smiling. Sure. I texted Julian before leaving. Skiing with River. On the monitor, he lingered at the office door, then retreated inside. Julian. Okay. Have fun. Be safe. River plays rough sometimes. Take care. Me. Julian, you sound like my mom. He inhaled sharply. I teased further. River says you're 6 years older. 2 gaps. Unsuitable. Julian clenched his fists but stayed composed. Julian. Good. I'll talk to him. Choosing someone who can lead you forward is better than a childish boy. But the choice is yours. River appeared from a snowdrift, black puffer coat, flailing like a silly deer. Skiing cleared my head. Exhausted, we lay in the snow. Heroine affection plus 1 plus 30. Current affection 10. River leaned close, smiling. Fun with me, isn't it? You look silly, I said. He froze. The system detected disrespect. Random punishment mode initiated. Heat surged in his body. He groaned, collapsed against me. Uncomfortable, he admitted, face red. Hot, I asked innocently. He buried himself against me, nuzzling my neck. The cold snow contrasting his heat made me shiver. Who drugged you? I asked, teasing. He tried to rise. I held him down gently. His eyes were watery, desperate. You're like a dog in heat, I quipped. Bad dog. Fix it. Good dog, he muttered. I tugged his collar playfully. Just a hug. Pity me. His hot breath brushed my neck. Before I could react, he kissed my cheek. My system recorded it. Male lead River affection plus 20. Current affection, 86. Heroine affection plus 50. Current affection, 30. Julian noticed the points dropping in his office. No message from me. Someone else was interfering. River. I watched Julian's dark expression as he sent a text summoning River. I arranged snacks for the show. System. You're directing a TV drama. River arrived in high spirits. My affection was positive. He kept replaying the cheek kiss in his head, even dreaming of me. Julian questioned him directly. What did you say to Sarah yesterday? River. Normal skiing stuff. Your methods didn't work, so I used mine. Julian's first thought, clever. Second, why did it backfire? Ask her yourself, River suggested. Why would I sabotage you? If you fail, we both lose. Julian saw truth in his words. I explained my strategy to the system. Loyalty is zero-sum. If I like one, the other drops. Heroine affection plus 10. Current affection, 69. Eventually, they figured it out. Julian was pleased, then River called, furious. Julian, what did you do? My score dropped to 10. Julian remained composed. We need a new plan. She won't like both at once. They argued. River. Why do you get to go first? Julian suggested taking turns. One romances, the other maintains. River. Her score isn't static. She'll drop yours too. Julian. She likes me more right now. 10 points isn't much. River. Temporary. I can change that in a day. Julian gritted his teeth, suppressing anger. River, young and impatient, had to concede. He agreed to stay in the friend zone, letting Julian take the lead. Like I'd let them collaborate. That would put me in danger. I shifted affection. Julian up, River down. River looked betrayed each time we met. Then the reverse. River up, Julian down. Julian's usual prompt call soon followed. Where are you? He asked. Playing pool with River. I replied. River leaned over the table, white t-shirt loose at the collar, black necklace dangling, abs showing. A subtle invitation if you knew how to read it. I sipped my drink. Heroine affection -5. Current affection, 65. Julian noticed the dip. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. River's shamelessness annoyed him. You wanted to go to the auction, right? I'm heading there now. Wanna come? My eyes lit up. Yes. Pick me up. River's ears twitched. Julian. Yeah, I said, grabbing my coat. River snatched it. Can't you skip this? Every time we hang out, he calls. Now he's taking you away. I tugged his necklace playfully. Next time. He froze, dazed. Bewitched. Male lead River affection +10. Current affection, 96. Julian waited outside, decked in the red stud earring, the necklace, brooch, and rings. All gifts I'd given him. Flashy, but somehow worked. He smoothed my scarf, fixed my hair, wiped frost from my lashes. Let's go. Have fun, he asked, ignoring River glaring through the window. Male lead Julian affection +10. Current affection, 85. River couldn't handle zero affection. He'd accepted just friends, but zero? Unthinkable. We balanced work and play. Julian during the day, River after hours. At River's beach villa, he jumped in the pool while I lounged. Sarah, come in, he asked. Lazy, I said, foot dangling over the water. He grabbed my ankle. I sat up, startled, kicked, but he used my leg to pull himself closer. My leg draped over his shoulder. Things escalated. River wanted points, to remain relevant in my life. But one kiss? He lost control. Male lead River affection +4. Affection 100. Congratulations. River Thorn conquered. I stopped him before it went further. He glared, explosive. What about Julian? I asked. Fuck him, he growled. Tried again. I stopped him. I'll be the side piece. Secretly. He won't know. Risky, but I raised River's affection and lowered Julian's. The doorbell rang frantically. Julian had arrived. I tugged his necklace, flicked the silver tag. Dog tag. Go open the door, puppy. River dressed, angry. I followed. Julian stood at the door, dark-faced, seeing us disheveled. He shoved River aside and pulled me in. Get in the car, he commanded. Hey, don't bully him, I said. Julian ignored me. Get in. In the car, I switched the monitor on. Julian. Sarah has talent. She should be learning, building her place in the world. Not wasting time with you. River. Who are you to lecture me? Her uncle? Or her dad? Julian twitched. I laughed. River. Admit it. You're jealous. You're old. Besides business, what do you have? Julian. You broke the rules first. River. Don't lecture me. Who interfered when we were friends? I teased. Julian, swear you'll break up with her and give her back to me once you hit 100. Julian went silent. River sneered. See? You just wanted to keep me in the friend zone forever. I watched the tension. Me with Julian for strategy, River for pleasure. Insecurity became Julian's accessory. Heroin affection plus 30. Current affection, 70. Heroin affection minus 30. Current affection, 30. River. Wait. What the hell? My hard-earned kiss points vanished. River glared at Julian. You? Acting pitiful. You knew she was watching. I'm going to find her, he threatened. Julian kicked him. Chaos ensued. Hair pulling. Insults flying. River. I'll pester her forever. I'll seduce her. You can't stop me. Julian. Whatever. As long as she's happy. Male lead Julian affection plus 15. Affection 100. Congratulations. Affection collected. Choose one cheat item to keep. System, I said. Only one. System. Take 3. Okay. Fake system and both punishments. Wrap them up. Congratulations. Acquired cheat item X3. Have fun, host.